Hey there, my name's Rebecca. I'm going to bring you a message from Roxy of the Crystal Kingdom, which will tell you the 2 things no true being of light will ever ask you to do. And I'll tell you why I'm dressed so fancy. Stay tuned. I love channeling Roxy of the Crystal Kingdom because she shoots straight, she has no ego, she's here to amplify truth or perhaps reveal truth. I'm just going to let her talk. So, I'm not going to change into a whole nother person. I'm a conscious channel, which means I share consciousness with the being I'm channeling. They first have to go through several tests before I will channel them. So, yes, I am Roxy, and I am of the Crystal Kingdom, and I am here to make you aware of certain things that are dampening your vibrations and keeping you in fear. One of those things is if a light being or supposedly light being asks you to do 2 things, you must be very cautious because no true light being would ever ask you these 2 things. The first thing no true light being would ever ask you to do would be to obey me or be punished or even to demand that you obey them, because that goes against the law of free will on this planet. So be aware. If you see that in writing somewhere, then be very cautious. Now, in some of the very old text, the meaning of the word obey could be different than in the context of today. I'm speaking of those who are channeling light beings today. That's where you are living, my friend. You are living in the present, and it is our intent of the Crystal Kingdom to help to amplify more truth for you, to amplify more love in your heart. Now, what's the second thing no true being of light would ever ask you to do? That is worship them. Now, when I say worship, I'm speaking of the subservient type of, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm lower than a worm, etc., etc. There are other meanings of the word which could be respect, admire, appreciate. That is different. Here's what true light beings are looking for. Number 1, to bring more love to you and to the planet or wherever you are. Love is the key, my friends. Love without fear. There is no fear when a true light being is desiring to work with you. So they desire to bring you truth and alleviate fear. The second thing light beings want is to work with you. They want to work with you in partnership to amplify not only your vibrations, your love capacities, but because you are being amplified, then more people within your reach and even far away are going to be uplifted. And remember this, beloved, it's all about the energy of love. Do you feel the energy of love when you are listening to a channel or even channeling yourself? This is key, knowing you always have free will. Now, conversely, the chaos energies thrive on confusion, chaos, fear. And so, every now and then, they sneak in and begin to perhaps whisper in your ear or bring things to your awareness that make you feel fearful and not loved. If you ever obey out of fear, this is a warning sign. Even if logically you think, yeah, it might be good for me to do that, there is a difference between being given some instructions and having the free will to follow the instructions or not follow the instructions. A very advanced light being would know that if you went down a certain path, it would be really good for you. They would also know if you went down a certain path, it would not be good for you. And they would give you advice and guidance. So, what else did I say I was going to touch on? Why is Rebecca dressed so fancy to do this channeling? Because Rebecca is following one of her favorite things to do that brings her joy and brings joy to others, and that is to go dancing with her husband. So take this into your awareness, my friends. Put it through the lens of your own heart. Do you want to be in partnership with a light being, with angelic forces, with deity figures? Or do you prefer to remain in fear, trembling, obeying some archaic rules? I am Roxy of the Crystal Kingdom, and I am turning it back to Rebecca. Thank you, Roxy. Know this, when I channel, I am fully conscious. Not quite fully conscious, but I do not leave my body and turn it over to a light being. There are some who do that, and they do lose chunks of time. Edgar Cayce was one of the most famous ones who did that. He would go to sleep, give out all kind of advice, prescriptions, medical suggestions, wake up, never know what happened. Even the wonderful Esther Hicks goes away and has to listen to the audio that was recorded when she was channeling. I prefer not to do that. And you have a choice too. Are you aware that just having the desire to be a conduit of spirit is enough to get you going in the direction that you are open to receiving messages of truth? Always test the spirits. Every time I teach a class on becoming more psychically aware, advanced, increasing your intuition, someone always asks me, how do I know I'm not going to attract a dark being? And of course, we need to do some EFT energy work around that. If you have a fear, it needs to be alleviated before you start inviting beings into your presence. You can always ask them 3 times. Are you of 100% pure godlight? Now, you can also say this, by the power of Holy Spirit light, are you of 100% pure godlight? You cannot lie to the Holy Spirit. And why is the Holy Spirit so important? It was very important to the Christ, who said, when he was asked, why do you have to go, Master? And he said, if I don't go, the great Comforter cannot come. It amazes me how so many churches and spiritual people completely bypass the power of Holy Spirit. So use that. Ask 3 times. By the power of Holy Spirit, are you of 100% pure godlight? This way, you will always be safe. You will always be protected. The most important thing you can realize is that your heart has the answers. You can pass everything through the filter of your own heart. Do you feel love? Does it feel good? Now, this doesn't mean you're not going to feel nervous sometime when you're guided into a new spiritual realm, a new healing modality, a new anything. Yes, you might feel nervous and a little afraid. Nothing brand new comes without a little bit of nervousness and a little bit of fear maybe. And that's okay, as long as the core is love. I'm Rebecca. If you like this kind of information, subscribe to this channel and you'll know the first time I drop a video about channeling, energy healing, EFT, all kind of wonderful things. Share this video with someone you know who would appreciate it and who won't get mad at you, all right? God bless. Much love. I'm Rebecca Marina, wishing you love. And that's the way it is.